Hi everyone, this is just a quick review of things about transformations with functions that you should remember from Algebra 2. The first thing is that a horizontal translation, to do that you subtract a number from the variable. For a vertical translation, you add to the entire function. A horizontal stretch and compression, you're going to multiply the variable by the reciprocal of your factor. For a vertical stretch or compression, you're going to multiply the function by the factor. For a reflection across the y-axis, you're multiplying the variable by -1, and a reflection across the x-axis, you're multiplying the function by -1. Now, one thing to note is that all of the horizontal changes are happening to the variable. All of the vertical changes are happening to the entire function. So let's take a look at how to transform a function. Okay, I'm going to leave that up as much as possible and see if I can fit both of these here. Well, okay. So we need to graph these different functions, and they're all based on a quadratic. So this dotted line here is the general form for a quadratic. Part A, it's f of x equals x squared plus 3. Now remember, my general function is just x squared. This is happening to the entire x squared, so this is a vertical change, and they are adding to the function. Okay, so I'm going to take my function. It's a vertical change. They're adding +3, so it's going up 1, 2, 3. Now, if that had said -3, I would move it down by 3. Okay, so just because it says adding, it's basically saying there's a number out here that is added or subtracted. If it's a plus, you're going to go up. If it's a minus, you're going to go down. Okay, so this is the answer to part A. In part B, they said g of x equals x plus 4 squared. Notice the plus 4 is in where the x is. So it's happening to the variable, because when a horizontal change occurs, you're going to put parentheses around your variable. The squared goes on the outside, and the horizontal change is happening in here. Okay, so this is where we're supposed to be subtracting from the variable, so it's the opposite of what it looks like. If this looks like it's going right by 4 because it's positive, that means go left by 4. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and here is my new function, right like that. So this is my new function, and that is the answer to part B. Okay, next, h of x equals -x squared. Okay, so notice the negative sign means it's a reflection, and it's not happening inside parentheses and the square is outside. It's happening to the entire function. So it is a vertical reflection, meaning it's reflected across the x-axis. So I'm just going to take each point and reflect it downward across that axis. So this would be here. Each point is reflected downward. Okay, so if I have trouble doing that reflection, what I can do is I can simply count how far it is above the x-axis and then go that same distance downward. So this was 1 up, so I went 1 down. This is 4 up, so I go 4 down. Keep it on the same x line, and that's it. Now, the last one that we need to do is the 3x squared. And again, I have to be careful with this. I'm going to erase these other ones so I don't get myself confused, because now my graph is getting a little cluttered. Please try to do separate graphs for each transformation that you're doing, because it does get cluttered, and sometimes I have a lot of trouble telling which graph goes to which question, and a lot of trouble seeing your different points. Make sure you're graphing specific points when you're graphing. Okay, so 3x squared. Again, if it was horizontal, it would happen inside parentheses. So this is a vertical change, and this is a whole number, not a fraction. So this is a vertical stretch by 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each y value and multiply by 3. This was at 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so it's going to be up here at 12. This was at 1. 1 times 3 is 3, so it's going to be at 3 now. This was at 0, so it's still at 0. Notice I'm taking just the y values. This was at +1 times 3 is 3. And this was at positive 4 times 3 is 12, right there. So this is my vertically stretched function, like that. Okay, so that's how it works. Now, if it had been a horizontal change, I would take my x values and multiply by that factor. Okay, so that's everything for this video. Let me know if you have questions. I hope this helped you remember how to do all of these.